And just like that, we're at the top. We're at the highest point in the south for the UK. This last bit's challenging. Whew. Time to get up.
So after a bright and early start, we hit the road, jumped in the car, and had a pretty miserable and rainy journey on the way there. But it was pretty smooth, no traffic.
It looks like we might have taken the wrong way.
And after a few fuel stops, we arrived at the Brecon Beacons.
Little 2.5 hour drive, smooth journey, just parked up. It's the quietest I've ever seen this car park, to be fair, so hopefully the mountain's nice and quiet, and the weather is about as good as we could have hoped for as well, because it's very, very rare to come to Welsh mountains and have blue skies like this. Looks lovely. So the route we're actually doing has the option to do 4 separate peaks, and you go up to Pen y Fan, and then you got to Corndw. You've got another one called Cribin, and you've got another one called Fan y Big. But I think we'll only do 2 of them because we're trying to get back down to make it in time to watch the footy. So I think we're going to take a little detour once we get up to Pen y Fan, come down the other side, and then take a little shortcut. So we've taken a little bit of a wrong turn somewhere. We veered off right when we should have veered off left. We should be over there and going up that ridge and then walking along it. But if we carry on this way, we'll just basically do the route but in reverse.
Straight up there.
Let's see if we can cut. If we can cut left there, we'll go up that way. If not, we'll just stick to this path. Yeah.
I reckon we get through there, bro.
Yeah, I know we could. I know we could. It's just whether we want to start the walk with a barbed wire fence tangle.
100%.
So even though that's the way we were meant to be going, we decided to stick with this route because we've gone a little bit off track. We'd be going back on ourselves and end up losing about 10 minutes. So just going to stick with this and then just basically do the reverse of what we were going to do, which might actually be a nice change because I've done that other route in the past, so I've never done this one before. Tell me a place more beautiful than this. 2.5 hours from the door. Didn't think I'd be getting the shorts on today. 30 seconds after taking the longs off on the trousers and it feels like it's dropped about 5 degrees.
After around about 45 minutes of flat hiking from the car, we got to the bottom of our first peak, which is called Cribin and sits at around about 795 meters. As soon as you get to the bottom of this and start walking up, you get reminded that you're on a mountain.
Yeah.
You film that?
Yeah. Stacked it. Whew. That is tough. Halfway up this one, steepest looks like it's yet to come. I don't think that does it justice. We're basically walking vertical up this hill, and it's the first of 3 or 2 peaks. Jesus, this will make a man feel unfit. Jesus Christ, my legs and ass burning. Nothing like reaching a peak, seeing that you got another straight away. Whoa, that's some view, isn't it? Up the top of the first ridge, or the mountain, or the peak, whatever you want to call it, and then got 2 more. This peak first, then that peak, which is Pen y Fan. That one's the one that we bypass, which is lower than Pen y Fan, but you can walk around the bottom of it, and then we walk along that ridge all the way along there, and then we come down somewhere down there, and then back to the car, which is parked down in the valley. It's got a bit nippy up here. It's amazing how much the temperature can change just from getting a little bit higher. It literally changes like almost within 5 minutes of walking up. It goes from being like an okay temperature to being quite cold and windy. Now we go down here for the big one. So Pen y Fan, even though it's not the tallest peak in Wales, Mount Snowdon is. It's the tallest peak in the south of the UK, so pretty much south of Snowdon. I'm pretty sure it is the highest peak. In this kind of region, the Brecon Beacons, you've got like 4 peaks at a very similar distance, but Pen y Fan is the one that is the highest, and as you're about to see, the steepest. A little bit more of the knee braking and then we'll be ready to go uphill. Mad how much harder coming downhill is on your body than going uphill. Uphill burns, downhill hurts.
When you come up that top bit there,
Yeah.
steep as fuck.
Yeah.
Over there right now.
Yeah. So this part we're about to go up, there's a route called the Fan Dance, which the SAS go up, and it's part of their selection route, and they run up. They start in a different place to us but finish quite close to where the car park was, and they run all the way up and over the Brecon Beacons with around about 20 kilo ruck on, and then run all the way back over, and they've got a certain time they need to hit to reach selection, and then that's one of their main parts of training. We're about to go up one part of it, and put it this way, it's a tough, steep route. We're on the start of the ascent up to Pen y Fan. See at the top, and just like that, we're at the top. We're at the highest point in the south of the UK. Oh, my ass cheeks. This last bit's challenging. I don't think any camera can really do it justice when you're up here and looking over the edges and looking around the views and how everything looks. I just think it's hard to capture on the camera, but hopefully some of these shots do it justice, because you got views and mountains and lakes and water and everything in every single direction. It's unbelievable. It's beautiful, and such a nice day too. See where the actual plaque is that says it's the highest point is usually got a little bit of a queue. It's like this. I've got a couple of pictures there in the past, but to be honest, you only need the one. We're up here, we don't need the pic. Look at this. The peak I'm about to show you, when I first came up here, one of my mates, it was cloudy and you couldn't really see where you were going, so you literally could only see where you were. Anyway, up at this next one, you kind of got this rocky plaque that looks like you're at the peak. We were taking pictures wondering why no one else is, and then when we said to someone, where's the plaque, to show Pen y Fan, they then explained we weren't even on it. So this is the final little ridge now that we're going to walk along for about an hour until we get back down to the car, so I'll see you there.
For the next around 45 minutes to an hour, we walk along the side of this ridge, and basically you've got views all the way out over to the left, and you're almost on like a cliff face. When you look down to the left, you're virtually vertical. From there, we got the legs on a little bit just to try and make up some ground, and it's a real steep downhill before you get down towards the kind of flat part.
It's been pretty much running down this last bit just to try and make up some time. This is the way we actually should have come, and the way I've been in the past. You always know if you're right because you've got that abandoned building, then you've got the kind of little reservoir and stream and bridge there too, and you walk along a little road, kind of down in the bottom of the valley, and then you get back to the car. And we're back. What are we doing?
13:42, we left at 10:12.
3.5 hours. Not bad going. 18 minutes to try and find a pub with food and the footy on.
So after a successful day at Brecon, we drove around about 20 minutes to a local town to watch the football in what was actually a pretty decent setup in a sports bar. We chilled out for a bit, grabbed a beer, and then went and grabbed some grub after. Appreciate you tuning in, and if you like this one, please drop us a comment or subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.